Hey guys, how are you? This is Matt Beck from freesaloneducation.com and Gratitude Salon Education. I'm really excited. Another Wednesday morning here with you guys, just sharing a little bit of education with you. Today what we're going to focus on is how to cut a graduation. You know, this is probably one of the most popular haircuts that hairdressers want to learn. And today I'm not really going to focus on teaching you a graduation haircut. What I want to focus on is really the fundamentals in cutting a graduation so you get the result that you're looking for. There'll be different videos that we always put out that have different graduated bob haircuts that, those are actual haircuts you can take and use in the salon. Today, I want to work on the fundamentals. So we're going to go through a few different exercises on how to kind of control that weight. We started this series about 5 weeks ago. We've been meeting every Wednesday and going over different fundamentals of haircutting. So it's kind of all built up to today and, using everything that we've gone through. So if you haven't seen our other videos, make sure you check out. I set this up as a playlist for you guys so you can start at the very beginning, work your way through each episode. And, they're all about 15 minutes long. So it doesn't take a long time. You can just sit down, relax, and watch those, the different fundamentals of haircutting, from our point of view. Also, before we start, check out our website, freesaloneducation.com. We're constantly adding new footage and new education to that website, from business tips to these classes live to different education videos we post every week. So make sure you check that out. Get on our email list. You can do that by hitting join when you go to the website. And also make sure that you subscribe to us and keep following us, because we're going to be posting education nonstop for a long time, so just for you guys. So here we go. We're going to start off this graduated haircut. I want to keep everything very balanced in this. You're going to base the parting based on your guest part, but let's just say right now we're going to go with a pretty traditional side part. We're going to start on the left-hand side. So I'm going to comb her hair back. Let me adjust her head a little bit. So we'll comb her hair back. Left-hand side parting. And we'll comb it over. Again, this is going to be things that you've heard me say throughout this whole fundamental series, but just make sure everything is nice and clean, and you're going to have the best end result within the haircut. So we got our side parting here, so hopefully you can see. There we go. Now what I want to do is I want to split the head in half. And really I'm doing that mostly because I want to know where the front and back separate, and I just don't want to be working with all the hair at once, clipping it all away. So, just again, kind of simplifying the haircut and simplifying the sectioning so that I don't have issues with keeping everything clean and organized. We'll comb that hair down. See that good. Twist this up, clip it away. So I like to kind of twist that up into a nice little knot. What that does is really helps, let's see if you can see that. It helps just keep it nice and tight, all these areas nice and tight out of the way of the rest of the haircut. Same thing on this side, high point of the head down to the ear. I'm really looking for that ridge on the head there. So we have the parietal ridge, and then we have this ridge that's kind of the separation between front and back. So I'm really looking for that bone structure right there, and that's where I'm going to make my section. So, this could vary based on what head shape you're working with, what the person's head shape is like. Again, twisting it up and out of the way, putting our clip down in there. Now, I'm going to split the back directly down the center. Again, this is a fundamental graduation haircut. This is not, anything extreme. There's no disconnection, no over direction or asymmetry at all to it. So we're just keeping everything very balanced, straight down the back of the head. Now again, working with bone structure, we have the occipital bone right here. the reason I work with the bones we've talked about before, but just to recap, the bone structure is going to influence the weight within the haircut. So if I am using the same angle, let's say 45 degrees, working down, as the head starts to move away from me, that 45-degree angle is changing. So I need to understand how the bone structure is working so that as I'm cutting the hair, the weight in the haircut doesn't get too heavy. So we'll make our section from occipital bone over. And I'm just going to comb the rest of that over to the side. This part I'm not going to knot because I'm going to be using it pretty quick. So just clip it. Put a clip right up into it. That'll hold it nice and steady there. You can see. Real simple. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. We'll comb the hair over. Make sure that that parting is balanced as well. We'll take a little bit more there. And I'll comb it over. And we'll comb it down. So pretty simple, basic sectioning, nothing complicated. Let me see if I can actually get this camera down just a little bit more so you guys can see better. Get that out of the way. Okay, so now, raise her up. We're going to be working right in the nape area. That's how we're going to cut our guideline. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut this in my fingers because I want true 0 degree. And if you notice, the way that the head shape works, the head starts to move in at the nape of the neck and then out. So if I were to hold this in my fingers, I'm automatically elevating the hair. So I'm going to end up with that kind of fringier look at the bottom. It won't be a solid line. So I really want to get a true 0 degree. So what I find with a mannequin, the easiest thing to do is hold it with your comb, just like this. Sometimes it's easier with a guest to hold it with your fingers like this and work your way in. On a mannequin, it's definitely easier with the comb. So just using real loose tension. This is another key factor within hair cutting is make sure that the tool you're using, the comb that you're using, I wouldn't want to use the tight teeth of the comb because it's going to stretch the hair too much. And then when I go to cut it, it's going to spring back up. You got to really look at the hairline of the guest. Obviously, this mannequin, most of the time it's very consistent in the back. But with a guest, they might have a cowlick on this side and not on that side. So you want to change your tension based on that. So let's say that she had a really strong cowlick back here. I'm actually going to use no tension whatsoever and let the hair just fall the way it's going to, and I'm going to cut across. If they don't have a cowlick, then I can control the hair a little bit more and hold it in my comb, keep it nice and steady. So you want to base your technique on the guest's hair, and that's going to give them the best result and easiest way to do their hair at home. So right now, we're going to come in here, use my comb, hold the hair down, and I'm just going to keep my eyes level with the graduation. We're going to come in here and just cut straight across and work that line in. Same thing here. I'm just going to hold the hair down, and I'm going to use the tip of my scissor here. Because my personal preference, I like to push the weight the same direction no matter where I'm cutting. So I wouldn't want to cut this way here and then come back in and cut this way because I'd be pushing the weight all to the left side. If I come back in this way and I cut from center out and then I cut center out this way, then I'm going to have a more consistent weight line. That's just something that I like to do in there. So we'll hold the hair down. I want to make sure that I'm still over directing the hair back. So what I'm going to do now is we'll shift over here. I'm going to slide my scissor underneath, lift the hair out, put it into my wide teeth of my comb, and make sure that my over direction, which you guys can see, but I don't want to round this corner. So what I want to do is pull the comb back, straight line with the nape of the neck. So keep it nice and parallel to the line I was cutting. We're going to work that line across. What's going to happen there is it's going to push weight forward. So you'll start to see that forward line drop in. We have elevated the hair a little bit, so I'm going to work just a little bit of the line into it, but following that same shape that we just created. So I might take out a little excess weight here, but we're still following that line. I want it to move a little bit forward into the weak area right behind the ear. So missed a little hair there. Come in here. There we go. Now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Work that line with the tip real quick. And we can cut more into that in a little bit. Now we're going to work our way on this side of the head here. Get a little bit closer for you. Hold it out with my scissor. Over direct it back into a straight line. I'm going to work the tip of my scissor across the hair and cut that line in. Again, that'll push a little bit of weight forward. You'll see a little collapse in it because it's obviously elevated at that point because we're bringing it back. So I just want to remove some of that weak area but keep that line in there. Now, I want to talk about something that's really important within cutting a graduation. Now, you're controlling weight in two different ways. So some people like to cut vertical graduation. Some people like to cut horizontally. I like to cut both because there's certain times within a graduation that I like to have horizontal. I like to cut horizontal because I control more of the line this way, right? And then there's sometimes I like to cut vertical because I control more of how much weight I want to remove from the haircut. So if I look at here, hopefully I can give you guys a visual. But let's take a horizontal section out of the bottom here. The other key thing when I'm cutting a graduation is if I cut this horizontally, it's a little bit more comfortable for me than trying to get my hand in here. I could cut it at a diagonal. That would definitely be a little bit more comfortable. But cutting it vertically is fine for me on one side, and then the opposite side I have a little bit of trouble getting in there with the scissors. So horizontally it's easier, it's more comfortable. The second thing is, if you look at